I just spent almost the last hour and a half crying with a friend as we watched 26 Pebbles through our university's theater program. And if you don't know what 26 Pebbles is, it is a wonderful story written about a terrible event that happened in Newtown. I am helping out with the show, and my friend's boyfriend, also my friend, is in the show. Now, I knew this was going to be a very difficult show for anybody to watch, much less me having, I don't want to say personal connections, but it resonated with me because of losing somebody suddenly, tragically. I was doing good as they were describing Newtown and the place it was beforehand, until it got to the point where the line was delivered, "Why isn't he answering?" And that is a feeling I know all too well. Going through that thought process of why aren't they answering is a feeling not of its own, but a combination of hope that there is some other reason, any other explanation as to why are they not answering. It is a combination of fear and hope and worry and helplessness of there's nothing that I can do. And then she finally did get the phone call from her husband, but different situation. I did not get a phone call from somebody. The police were able to find me first and deliver the news to me that both of my parents were gone and my brother would likely not make it through the night. These are all feelings and events that I wouldn't wish upon anybody. Throughout the whole night, it was just a wave of different emotions, and then like, oh, this resonates with me, and then I start bawling out my eyes, and then I kind of like pull it back together. Myself and my friend are both education majors as well, so that brings a whole different perspective. So as I think I'm pulling myself together, they also then talk about how these 26 sets of parents don't have the space to properly grieve because of all of the news reporters and the media just bombarding their personal space. And though I did not have that, it resonated with me that I did not have the proper time nor space to grieve when there were so many things to take care of. When I was more bombarded, I felt like I was more bombarded with, people telling me, you have to do this, 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 and this. And not necessarily in a grieving sense, but you have to go pick out flowers now. You have to go pick out their caskets now. You have to go sign these papers now. You have to go clean up this now. You have, like, all these things that people just bombard you. And you have these things that you gotta get done because somebody has to do them. That sometimes there's just not a proper time or space to grieve. There's too many things to do. Ooh, sorry, now I'm back. It was mentioned of people breaking down and crying in the grocery store. And just all of these moments and places that you publicly break down that you don't want to be seen. They brought up all of the cards and letters and teddy bears, thousands of teddy bears that were sent to the school and the town. And all I thought about was that night that I went back home and there were bags and gift baskets. And I felt so terrible about this one after, but there was a fruit basket, and at the very top was an apple. And by God, I hate that apple. Because at a time where I just wanted my parents and my family, and somebody gives me an apple as if that's supposed to fix anything, I hated that stupid apple. But I don't know why I was so upset and angry at an apple. And they brought up that once they started receiving so many thousands of bears, that they started giving them to different charities and police departments, fire departments, Florida and Hurricane Katrina, like where they started doing things with these stuffed animals. I loved stuffed animals growing up, and I kept all of them. My mother let me keep all of them. My mom kept everything as well. Different story, different time, but I know most of my stuffed animals. I know all of my Build-A-Bears went to somebody who was losing their voice, and so before they lost all of their voice, they took it to Build-A-Bear, recorded their voice to hand out to family. I know a lot of my stuffed animals went to police departments, fire departments, so then that was just another wave of referring back to when I had to pack up my bedroom and the bins of stuffed animals that were out in storage. I have recently shared a little bit about how some family hasn't necessarily been supportive, and one of the words that they referenced was togetherness, and they said something to the effect of, you get through it together and you can't do it on your own, and I mumbled under my breath, I said, sure you can. It's not a laughing matter, but sometimes in life people are not there for you. One idea from the very end of it that I do disagree with, and I know this has nothing to do with the actors and actresses portraying this. This is more to do with the writing. I don't really like the phrase "move on." There is no such thing as moving on. There's only moving forward. And the last thing that I'll mention is about the lasting effects that this has on you. It's been a while, and I still have PTSD from a knock on my door, or getting a phone call, or some of these things that are just triggering, that just suck me back to that day in an instant.